Tonight, hello sailors. Good things come in small beamers. And would you believe a tractor in Toorak?
Welcome to Top Gear Australia. We're your three on the tree. He's Steve Pizzardi, he's Warren Brown, and I'm Charlie Cox.
Now, the best bit about our job is the cars we get to drive, but a close second is where we get to drive them.
So when we were thinking of locations, someone suggested Hamilton Island. But there are very few roads, no cars, and just a few golf buggies. See, basically, it's a big tropical resort with a great big airport.
Sounds perfect.
The Whitsundays, a paradise, a playground, a party in every port. Mother Nature at her most beautiful. Verdant islands fringed by cobalt shadows. Amid emerald deeps, island life can be a slow pace or a fast race. But these yachties seem to have been misinformed. This is Audi Race Week, but we're the only ones that have brought an Audi. And not just any Audi, the king of them all, the Audi R8. The 4.2-litre mid-engine supercar with a surly serpent's face and scales to match.
This thing comes from the same gene pool as the Lamborghini Gallardo. They share the same platform, in fact. It's kind of like a little cousin, if you like. And the name? Well, it's named after the Audi R8 sports car. You know, the one that keeps smoking them at Le Mans. So it looks cool and sexy, but how tough is it really?
Even though it shares a family tree with the Lambo, the R8 doesn't share the Gallardo's bullish spirit. It's been dubbed the everyday sports car. With the optional R-Tronic Sequential 6, it comes in at just under $280,000. So you'd save 120 grand on a Gallardo, which you could put towards fuel for the helicopter that seems to follow the R8 everywhere.
It is so beautifully balanced, like a little precision instrument. Oh, that German Audi Vorsprung Dorp Knickknack, whatever they call it, it does actually work. All-wheel drive, which is a high-tech way of saying four-wheel drive, but it doesn't really bother it. It does seem to stop you stepping it out and behaving like a real milk bar cowboy.
Now, don't get me wrong, the R8 is brisk. It'll hit 104.6 seconds. That's partly thanks to the Audi space frame, a stiff aluminium shell that weighs just 210 kilos.
But it is remarkably well balanced. So controllable. What's this? I want to change direction. Or back again. What a nimble little creature you are. Absolutely astounding. You don't have to have the full manual, but I think you should in a car like this myself. I know you're not supposed to say this, but all that wonderful control makes it a bit too safe. But don't get me wrong. It really is a lot of fun. I mean, a whole lot of fun. Look at that. How much fun do you want? It's a whole lot of fun. A whole lot of fun. And that's all-wheel drive. I call that pretty balanced, don't you? So where does that leave us? Well, it looks like a nuclear-powered supercar, but it's really practical and tractable. Practical supercar. That's like a non-life-threatening Scud missile. Safe explosives. User-friendly hand grenades. It's a practical supercar. Well, don't get me wrong, it's not too practical. You can still slip a disc climbing in. I've got no room to carry anything. But it's drivable. And if you're under the revs, look at that. Fourth gear, it's just gradual pickup. That's fine. Braking is easy. Turning is easy. And like all great Audis, it's just sensible. It's not some head scramble like they'll put into a Lexus or something like that, where you sat at the side of the road for 20 minutes trying to work out how to turn the air conditioning on and the radio off, or the other way around. Everything works. You get in the car, there are little arrows. Would I like the air up there or down there? Would I like the fan high or low? Would I like the AC on or off? It just makes sense. It's a really smart, usable car, relatively speaking, that goes like a shot dog. As I said. And just when I'm getting my eye in, Hamilton Island decide they actually want to land a plane on the runway. Time to get out of here. Now, we're off to see the boys, because I'm going to let you in on a little secret. The R8, well, it's not the real reason we're here.
You see, we've heard about this prize, the Prix d'Elegance, and that's open to anyone at this regatta.
There's even 2 categories, one for the best boat and crew, and one for the best fun-themed yacht.
Yep. Now, minor problem. We don't have a yacht. We do, however, have an Audi. So, time to put our cunning plan into action under the cover of darkness. And that night back in town, the yachties kicked up their heels, blissfully unaware that an innovation so breathtakingly daring was coming to fruition. Like a winged keel, this was a concept so radical it would change the face of sailing forever.
Well, you won't have to wait too long to see what the welding's all about. But, Charlie, that looked like an absolute hoot.
Mate, I had a ball. This thing is fantastic. I mean, as I said, Audi call it your everyday supercar. And I suppose it is a supercar if your everyday shopping is a can of Coke and a sandwich. But the more I think about it, you know, I love it, but it's not a supercar. It's a supercar.
Yeah, but it does growl stowies. I've never seen so many corners on a straight runway.
Mate, I was using the tyres to send a message up to the helicopter pilot. Send more tyres! But there is no point watching me going round and round getting car sick. Much more important to watch the car face the ultimate test. Some say that scientists have mapped his genome, and it's identical to a circuit map of Mount Panorama. Others believe that he actually won the World Scrabble Championship by spelling vroom with 7 letters on a triple-word score. All we know is he's the Stig. Ready for the start, challenging conditions as we can see in the wet, but still getting off brilliantly down towards the question mark. Look at the spray. Oh, he's got a bit on.
Oh, that's tight through the question mark.
OK. Round through Clarkson Court. Oh, look at that standing water everywhere.
Brilliant. That ruined that run up the hill here. This is a really important part of the track.
Over the crest. This is hard enough in the dry. 04 and onto the back straight.
How wide does he go?
Oh, he's earning his corn today as the Stig. Keep it on the black stuff, son.
Ton of spray coming off that thing. It's amazing.
It is really wet, but it doesn't sound sweet, doesn't it? Beautiful.
Can't even see the chicane. Now, this is such an important part of the track. 06, It's the left hand, and then you've got another left straight after that, the 7. That, unfortunately, sets you up the wrong way for the bus stop. There's the second left. Now he's got to get it back to the right.
But this is where this car comes into its own. High-speed direction changes, even in the wet. That looked really nimble to me. And across the line he goes! Who's a busy Stig there?
Absolutely.
Now, this is a sensation. Because in spite of the conditions, the Stig did that in a 1 minute 11.87. What a car! Our first wet time.
That goes to show you what four-wheel drive does for you. Absolute advantage in the wet. That's brilliant.
And it also shows what amazing handling the thing has got. I tell you what, though, mate, that was so wet out there, it'd have been better off with a boat. Eh, was it?
Yeah, thanks, Charlie. Well, part 2 of our Audi challenge was to enter a yacht race, but first we had to make our Audi float. But when you see what we did with tonight's car, you'll be asking yourself, what were they thinking? In the automotive universe, there are 2 planets. There's planet Earth, where we all come from, and there's France. In 2001, Renault decided to take on Mercedes-Benz and BMW in the mid-range luxury car market. Now, if you're going to take on Mercedes-Benz and BMW, you would need to design a car of unparalleled beauty. But the avant-garde designers at Renault decided to find as many little funny-shaped things and mash them all together, and they made this, the Renault Valsatis. Now, this is the kind of design that people either love or they hate. And most people hated it, so much so that the right-hand drive version went straight to the guillotine. And an export car made by Renault was only available in France. So, Renault, what were they thinking?
If you reckon that's a bad-looking car, I've got a car here that was actually voted by about half a dozen magazines as not only the worst, ugliest car of the year, but in fact the worst and ugliest of all time. This is the SsangYong Starvik. Like, what an absolute shocker. It was designed by the head, not a student, the head of design at the London College of the Arts. Okay, one Mr. Stephen Wonder or someone, you know, obviously, presumably with some crayons or something like that. Now, the export name for this car was the SsangYong Rodius, not Odious, Charlie, Rodius, and presumably Stevie, you know, and his Labrador love it. SsangYong, what were they thinking?
That is so bad, it would actually be a public service to rear-end that. It's just hideous. Whereas my little selection came off the assembly line pre-rear-ended. Look at that. I know they were popular, but please, the Ford Festiva, it looks like somebody sat on the bonnet and kicked it up the arse, all at the same time. It is horrible. And what were you thinking for buying one? Now, coming up after the break, we've got our star in a bog-standard car, and we turn the Whitsundays into the half-wit Sundays. Okay, time for the news. Now, the big news is motor shows, the Sydney Motor Show in particular, fantastic, as long as you didn't want to see cars.
Yeah, I mean, 18 out of the 46 manufacturers in Australia didn't actually turn up. And other than VW, most of the Germans didn't turn up at all.
What a pity they didn't do that in 1939 at the Warsaw Motor Show.
For not the first time in this series, mate, back to cars. Now, the big thing was, seriously, they were so thin on the ground, cars that is, that when they had the BMW stand, they had to put car fridges there. That's right. An array of car fridges.
Charlie, see that photograph? See that woman in the blue dress on the left? She's the one who went to the motor show.
Yes, she is indeed. And I know you've got that restraining order on you, haven't you?
most of the manufacturers are actually struggling to see the reason to actually go to the motor show. People like Mercedes-Benz actually, had an event at Easter time for 400 customers at Bathurst. I mean, and they actually sold 40 cars out of that thing. So for them, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, but that's the thing about car manufacturers. They have a lot of money. I mean, we all want to go and see a motor show, don't we?
Yeah.
Well, you say they've got a lot of money, but...
Yeah, so, I mean, so they're letting the punters down. If we want to go and see a car, when I was a kid growing up, I wanted to go see the Ferraris and the Porsches and the Astons, all those sorts of things. If I can't see it, I'll be very disgruntled.
Yeah, OK. Maybe the answer is, I don't know, they split it. So, alternate years. Melbourne one year, Sydney the next year.
It's exactly what they do in Paris and Frankfurt. I mean, here's two cities, with 4 times the population of Melbourne and Sydney, and even they have to alternate between those two, so maybe we need to do the same.
Well, maybe they could keep everybody happy by maybe having it in Albury and Wodonga.
So his geography's like his driving. Fantastic. The new hybrid Honda. We all know about the Prius. It's the big thing that everybody wants. Now the hybrid Honda has come out and they're having a really big run at the Prius. The trick is, though, it looks exactly the same. There it is. That's the new Honda. I reckon it looks quite smart. But then again, you think, where have I seen that before? That's where you've seen it before.
But I know the difference, Charlie.
Yeah.
One's red and one's white.
He's hot. That's why we've got him here. But they are very, very close indeed. The very interesting thing about this thing, though, is that it's a lot cheaper. It's potentially going to be under 30 grand next year, whereas we know the Prius is maybe the thing under 40.
40, yeah. Well, this is the second generation Insight. I mean, some of you may remember the first one looked a bit like a teardrop. Remember that thing, Charlie?
Oh, yeah.
This weird bubble-looking kind of car.
Like the car in Lost in Space.
Yeah, exactly like that thing. So no one really bought that car. They then, came up with the Civic Hybrid. And the problem with the Civic Hybrid was that it looked exactly like a Civic. And if you're saving the planet, people want to be acknowledged. Oh, look at me, I'm saving the planet. It's not just another Civic. So they've come up with this car, and it looks like the Prius, which everyone knows saves the planet. So that's why they've done it.
Steve, you're talking about saving the planet, but this gets back to batteries. Now, batteries are now becoming a huge pollution problem, and they're all being shipped back to Korea. I don't know why they're going to Korea, but there's some great big belching ship that's taking these things back.
Batteries are good, but the actual transport?
Yeah, absolutely.
Shocking. Well, speaking of green brands, Cadillac may be making a comeback to Australia. It's been 70 years since they've been here, and before you get carried away, guys, it's not fins and chrome and...
That's what I call a hybrid. That's a hybrid.
Yeah, it doesn't even have bullhorns. I mean, it's not a real Cadillac, that one. But the car that's actually coming to Australia is, in fact, the Cadillac CTS, and this is actually related quite closely to the Commodore. It's got the same engine out of the Commodore. It's the 3.6-litre V6.
It is quite Commodore-esque, isn't it, when you look at that?
It's alarmingly functional for a Cadillac, isn't it?
Not much chrome.
No, but I tell you what, guys, when you go to the United States, one of the great joys, you'd think, are things like Cadillacs. I love to rent cars there. And you don't rent a model, you rent how many metres you want. I have 20 metres a car, please. And up it comes from the car park. The Cadillac, that grill goes past and it keeps coming. Oh, yes, it's the other end of the car. But the big rip-off is they're front-wheel drive. You can't get out there and get them all crossed up. So note to self, if you go to the United States and, like me, want to rent a great big fat Yank torpedo, go the Lincoln Town Car, rear-wheel drive.
Well, for most of us, when you first get your licence, you start off with a small, cheap car. Then, as you get older, you end up buying a more luxurious, more expensive car. That's driver demographics. For example, if you own an M3, you're probably in your 30s, ambitious and pretty successful. But if you do own an M3, look in your mirrors, because the 135 is coming up fast. You don't have to drive BMW's 135 for very long to get where this car's coming from. It's focused on maximum power and minimum weight. I really love this car, and what I love about it is that it's dead simple. It's got a great big engine and a grouse little chassis. Even the interior is simple. It's got a steering wheel, 3 pedals and a DIY gearbox. No distractions. The 1 Series has been the awkward baby brother of the BMW family for some time. Its geeky, somewhat pudgy body has been struggling to get out of the shadows of its muscular bigger brother, the M3. But that was then,
and this is now. It's as though the 135 has been working out, you know, lifting dumbbells and drinking protein shakes. Because now its chest is all hairy and its voice is deeper. Although it still doesn't have the M badge, the 135 has shaken off its gawky image and can't wait to stand toe-to-toe with its older brother. The way this family feud has evolved is by way of inheritance. The 135 Coupe has been given the same engine as the 335 Ci, a 225 kilowatt 3-litre twin turbo. The 135 is also a chunk lighter than the 335. I didn't think it'd be this easy to keep up with the M3. I mean, this is like a little brother. It's annoying its bigger brother quite easily. When you first get in this thing, the steering feels that little bit doughy, so you're not sure what it's going to do, but a few corners in, and it's really quite predictable. So I'm all over his back bumper here. This is absolutely fantastic. In the last few years, the M3's been dealing with something of a midlife crisis. It's become heavier and more expensive and cluttered with gizmos and gadgets. I reckon this car is actually more focused than an M3. That's trying to be all things to all people, trying to be sporty, trying to be luxurious. Well, this thing is just a driver's car. You just get in it and off you go. None of that superfluous stuff you have in the other car. It's a wild child. It doesn't give a flip about anything. All the 135 wants is to go fast. Very, very fast. Some purists say the 135 doesn't look like a Beamer. It's too short and ugly. See, that doesn't upset the 135. No. It only makes him angrier. I don't really like it when he gets angry. What the 135 lacks in beauty, it makes up with balls. You know, bollocks, cojones. Not that the M3 lacks anything in the cojones department. You see, for a long time, the M3 used to be the people's supercar. At about 120 or 130 grand, most people thought that with a bit of a promotion or a lucky break, I could afford that. Now, at about $180,000, it's beyond most people's reach, and that's where the 135 comes into play. It takes over from where the M3 left off. At just under 80 grand, the 135 is a genuine performance bargain. And throwing it around corners like this, you appreciate that it's money well spent. Maybe I like this car because it's the runt of the BMW family. My dad always said I was the runt of the family. Well, at least I thought he said runt. For me, the 135 is actually done to the M3 what the M3 used to do to much more expensive supercars. Actually, all that's missing on this car is the M1 badge on the back. It's that good, it actually really does deserve it. Good car. Yeah. Charlie, you'd absolutely love this car. It's a proper stick and rudder car and everything.
Oh, hallelujah. It's exactly what you need. If something's supposed to be sporty, you should be able to use all the pedals and change the gears yourself. But what about blokes that reckon, well, it looks like a girl's car?
Well, it is a girl's car, if the girl's Danica Patrick.
OK, blokes, show of hands. Who thinks this looks like a girl's car? Yeah. It is a girl's car. OK, ladies, who thinks they'd like to own one of these? Yeah. Well, I can't get it. on the girls' car, because the front of it, I reckon, looks pretty tough. The eyes are a bit open, maybe, and it's a bit bargy in the arse, but basically, it is a tough-looking car. But hang on a minute. You said to me when you went to test it, it's a girls' car.
Well, I can see how most of you would think this is a girl's car, but actually when you drive it, you realise that it's really quite macho and tough. I absolutely love this thing.
OK, Dr. Pizzati, thank you so much. But if it's all right with you, I'm going to seek a second opinion. It is time for the BMW to face the white heat of the Stig. OK, he's away. Down towards the question mark for the first time. Sounds well.
Yeah, they sound really different to the M3. M3 is a real screamer. This thing's got that sort of deep burble. Brilliant.
Through Clarkson, feeding on the power up the hill.
Yeah, the torque would come in really handy going up over the rise for the double left-hander onto the straight.
Well, he's got it all his way because at least it's dry. We shot this one yesterday, so he's got a dry track, unlike the Audi. Oh, he's got a bit on.
Brilliant. Now, for everyone that wants to see the track map in its entirety, you can actually go to the SBS website and see what the track actually looks like.
Yeah, as long as it hasn't got your driving tips on it. He's doing this just like you. Down into 06 now, washing off the speed. We're trying to.
Oh, double left-hander here. This is the tricky part. Run up to the bus stop.
OK, big direction change now.
Looks quite pointy.
It does actually. Looks very nimble and across the line. I was going to say fast and furious, definitely furious.
Absolutely.
This is a very impressive time. It's done it in a 1:14.9. Look at that. That is so close.
Yep. And it's actually, when you think about it, that's actually not that much slower than the M3. It's a really good time.
Yeah, but this is half the price of the M3.
But you've got to remember that the M3 has got gizmos and technology. The thing's laden with absolutely everything. More comfortable as well.
OK. After the break, him and Warren go and drive a tractor down Toorak Road in peak hour. You heard me right.
This is a Toorak tractor. That's what people call luxury inner-city four-wheel drives that have never driven over anything bigger than a tram track. But what would happen if we took an actual tractor to Toorak? I'm glad you asked.
Most of Australia is rugged wilderness, untamed and primal, where a four-wheel drive is a necessary fact of life. But most of Australia isn't where most Australians live, and on city streets, a four-wheel drive can be an unnecessary pain in the arse. Now, this might sound a little extreme, but you know, you can't start a fashion without being noticed.
We are going to jail. You know that? Holy we're safe. What are you doing?
Just shut the hell up.
Right. Oh, cops, be good. For the love of Allah. Look what's behind us. There's like 10 Ks.
What are you doing like this? I've never driven a tractor through traffic before.
This is a Massey Ferguson tractor, and we're about to do to four-wheel drives what they've been doing to city drivers for years. Be bigger, clumsier and in the way.
So where are we now?
This is Toorak Road.
This is
Toorak, yeah. So this is Fashion Central. Between Chapel and here, you are fashionista city.
Really? I've never bought any of my clothes from here.
As our big wheels kept on turning and we charged towards our destination, I was amazed that no one was paying much attention to our approach.
Look at that. I love the fact that we are towering over other SUVs. That's grouse.
You'd be forgiven for thinking that the Rudd government is giving away free SUVs along with the baby bonus these days. But the closest a Toorak tractor will get to being off-road is double parked on a median strip waiting for a piccolo latte.
It says go cats. Why cats? I had a cat once.
Wow, what happened to your cat?
It fell off.
Of course.
No, it did. It really did. Poor old puss went away to die.
He died on his
And
birthday.
days later, couldn't find it, found it, and it decayed some, and his head fell off. Go, cats. Oh. Didn't have to stop and start all the time there, right?
Yeah.
I'm just going to pull in and park.
In there?
Yeah.
That's a bit tight, Was. It's not exactly little.
Well,
You're about 2 metres from the curb, dude. You're going to have to get closer.
now, we've all seen Toorak tractors attempting to reverse park, but try it in a real one.
Look at the shop fronts. Can you... Easy. Whoa. Whoa.
Jesus.
Dude, well, don't move it now.
Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Hang on.
No. Oh. No way.
Oh, that's not good.
Nothing to see here.
We didn't hurt the tractor.
Well,
Not a mark on this.
yeah, I know.
That's good.
Are you really
That's bad.
surprised?
We were drawing attention to ourselves, so we had to do something before too many others noticed. Like any civic-minded citizens, we left a note.
You're writing a note. I'm not writing a note. That bumper looks all right now, doesn't it? Actually, I've got an idea. Give me this.
Outstanding. Well, I have to say, this is a pretty decent little runabout.
You would.
No, but it is the kind of thing that you could, you know, drop the kids off to daycare and go and have a piccolo latte down at the coffee shop.
I suppose it's not that far removed from one of those things, is it?
No, in all seriousness, I mean, this was a little bit of overkill for Toorak Road, but so is that. I mean, you have to deal with pedestrians and traffic and trams and, of course, the problem of parking.
Ah, Saab Gate. How can I forget?
Yeah, there's still bits and pieces in the tyre at the back. But, oh, look, I did the right thing. At least I drew a diagram and put it under the windscreen wiper. That's good.
Yeah, with someone else's phone number. Hey, Charlie.
Thanks, boys. Now, this week's star in a bog-standard car is proof that you can qualify second and still win really big. He came second on Australian Idol, but he's been #1 in the charts pretty well ever since. Ladies and gentlemen, Shannon Noll. Welcome to Top Gear Australia, mate.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me.
Did you ever think, when you came second in Idol, then things got better and better and you got #1s and all the rest of it, that it had finally reached here, the pinnacle of your life, on Top Gear?
No. No, I only hoped and dreamt that it would, but to be here, you know, really is the icing on the cake.
You're a country boy.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff you've written, the stuff you've done, is all about your experience, coming from where you have and how tricky life's been.
Yeah, definitely, mate. We had a great upbringing on the farm, you know. We sort of crashed and rode and drove everything that had a motor, just about, growing up. So, yeah, it was a really fun time we had, and then to be here today is pretty wild.
Crashing and wrecking everything you have with a motor. I mean, you should have a job here.
And then you throw a few guns in there as well. It was a really wild time.
Can I stop you there?
It wasn't a rabbit that was worth its weight in the whole place, just about, yeah.
Yeah, well, you and your brothers.
Yeah, we used to play tags on motorbikes and things like that, and remember one day we were riding along and Damien my older brother had the more powerful bike, so he went past and gave me the big slap on the head as in tag, you know, and my handlebars got caught on the back tray of the motorbike, so he's continued riding along and I'm going like this, then he looked back like that and just went and just pushed me off, so I went into the ground. Big muffler burn, all that sort of stuff, but yeah, it's great times.
But growing up in the country, as I say, I mean, your driving experience is completely different.
Yeah, mate, we're all sort of pretty well knew our way around a manual. Went by the time we were about 6 or 7, I suppose, just driving around the farm, of course. Couldn't say have the steering wheel to drive down anywhere else, but yeah, we sort of had our minds around that pretty early, and used to drive around you know, smash the cars around the place. Just old utes and that sort of thing, but yeah, it was great fun.
And touring as well, when you're a young guy, getting out there. I mean, you must have covered some enormous mileage.
Yeah, we dead set. Like, it was probably 100 kilometres to go before you got to another town, let alone somewhere else to play, you know. So we played one time at Brisbane, the Gold Coast, and we drove from home, which was 15 hours, I think. So the boys knocked off work at 4:30, and we jumped in the car and away we went. So drove all the way through, and then I went and played the gig that next night, and then did another gig the next night, and then drove all the way home. So fair few Ks, yeah, fair few Ks, that's for sure.
Now, your first car was an XE Falcon.
Yep, the good old Canary.
It
Canary
was
yellow.
Canary yellow. What, was it a safety colour?
Yeah, just about, just about. No, it was an S-Pack. Come on now.
So lovely, a red stripe down a yellow car.
Fantastic. Yeah. I hit a Kangaroo one night and I had a fair bit more red all over it, that's for sure.
But when you were out there touring around, going from place to place, I mean, you learnt about driving big loads on dirt roads.
Yeah.
Must have been a great experience.
Yeah, mate, if you had any tar at all, you were pretty lucky out there. Normally it's just one bit of tar that you have to share when you're passing someone. So you get showered in rocks and all that sort of stuff, and blowouts and all that sort of thing. So yeah, you get a bit of experience in trying to get a car out of a situation that's pretty dangerous.
Yeah, there's nothing like a tank slapper in a fully loaded ute on a dirt road.
You don't always get out of them either, you know, I must say. I was driving in the sun one time and hit a tree and on the big helicopter and rolled over about 4 times. My mate was bouncing around the car like that, so he hit the console, so I sort of landed on him to stop him bouncing around. He's going to go out the back window, but yeah, all that sort of stuff happens out there.
Are you teaching your boys to drive? He says.
Hopefully not just yet, but I don't know, you know, if you're lucky enough to... I think just experience saved me that day because I went down the table drain and just pulled it back enough to stop from... because it hit a tree like that. And if it hit it like that, we would have been fairly well toast, but...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it hit it just on the back end and flipped around, so that was pretty... The rest of the cricket team come across us with the cars totaled and we're laying on the road.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
But you love your Fords, don't you? Got a Ford ute?
Yeah, mate, I've had a bit of both over the years, you know, but got an XR8 at the moment and tricked it up a little bit.
But do country drivers, here's the big question, the blokes that learn to drive in the country, are they better drivers than us city drivers?
Well, I think they get used to driving faster because, you know, all the traffic lights and that down here. So when you're in a fix in the bush, everything happens a damn sight quicker because you're going a lot faster. So, I don't know, your reaction time might get a bit shorter or something, or you learn not to overcorrect or stuff like that. But I don't know, mate, it's hard to say, you know. I think everyone needs to have a little bit of time behind the wheel, out of control, before they know, you know, how to stay in control.
It's all coming back to top gear, isn't it? I mean, you're on your back to basics tour. You can't get more basic than that.
Yeah, I know, that's for sure, yeah. No, it's been a lot of fun.
How is back to basics going, mate? You having fun?
Mate, the tour's going great, actually, yeah. We just finished a big Western Australia run, and we've got New South Wales right through the length and breadth of New South Wales, and then Queensland as well, and then Victoria, then even down to Tassie. Good on you, Tassie. Going down there too. So, yeah, show's been going really good. Everyone's having a lot of fun, so...
It must be massively different, travelling around now the way you do than travelling with your band in the back of the ute, busting for a pee, driving all night.
Yeah, definitely. Now they stop the car when you're busted for a piddle. They, a few times in the back of the... we used to have a big F100... them big great big ones with the canopy on the back, and my brother wouldn't pull over one day, so we had to find some bottles quick in the back of the ute, so back of the truck. But now it's good, you don't have to load any gear in, you don't have to do anything, you just turn up a sound check and away you go. We loaded the gear into a gig one time in Cootamundra, and then they said, "You're the band?" We said, "Yeah, we're the band." So then we just got it all set up, and the guy comes across and says, "Sorry, so what are you here for?" We said, "Oh, the footy do." And he went, "Mate, that's upstairs." So we had to unload pack down all the gear again, go around the corner, up out of 40 steps, and load it all up again. By the time we're done the gig, we go.
Surprise!
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
So, today, how was your day?
I had a great day today. Yeah, a lot of fun. A lot of fun. You can't drive like that too often, so...
I don't know, it sounds like you've been doing it all your life to me.
Yeah, a little bit.
But you're a bit of a first. Like I said, you keep having these number ones. You're a first bloke in damp conditions.
You just got to, you know, have a crack if you're going to have a go, you know. I've got a saying for it, but it probably wouldn't go over well on TV.
So did you have a crack today?
I had a bit of a crack today, yeah.
Who wants to see the lap? I can't wait. I can't wait for this because you saw the conditions before. He's done it in appalling conditions.
Yeah, there's a bit of rain flying around. Yeah, it's a bit of aquaplaning action, so it's pretty good.
Just like the old canary on the dirt road, mate.
Definitely.
OK, let's have a look at the lap. Plenty of wheel spin. Take us through it. The mighty Proton.
Yeah, she's a goer.
Looks like a little bit of understeer there, mate.
Yeah, mate.
Probably had more tread than anything you've driven on.
It wasn't too bad, actually. It was, I mean, it wasn't too good just to save me.
Through Clarkson, all the standing water.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a peak, that's for sure.
This is hard here, isn't it? Because it's blind.
Yeah, definitely. This one's a ripper.
Oh, dear me, this is huge commitment in the wet.
Yeah, we're having a go.
Yeah, very confident before a fall, mate. What's going on down here?
There's all a bit of the water there. I took off. I went off the throttle back there, so I wouldn't end up straight through the middle of the chicane.
He might be from the country, but he's good at swimming. OK, through. Look at this. This is wet.
Yeah, mate. It was a bit slippery.
Holding the apex very well, though, mate. Into the bus stop. Oh, chucking it from one side to the other.
Yeah.
Real commitment. How about that in the wet conditions? Shut it! Oh! That was outstanding.
Yeah, mate. It was a lot of fun.
Now, you are not going to believe how fast that was.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is our first wet lap. Look at Bisley. He's the boy to beat up there.
Yep.
I can tell you, this is absolutely astounding. You did it in a 1:27.44.
Thanks, mate.
And that is wet. That is so close.
Yeah, close.
Mate, that is outstanding. Imagine if it had been dry.
Yeah, mate, I would have stuck there a little bit more, but it was a lot of fun anyway. I had a great time.
Oh, you plainly had a great time. That was absolutely fantastic. And he kept it on the island as well.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, mate. Outstanding stuff.
Good on you, mate. Thanks
Brilliant.
so much.
Big hand.
Thank you. Brilliant. Thanks, mate.
Now, have you ever seen an Audi float? You will after the break. So, as you know, it's a Top Gear tradition to try to get things to float. So when we left our Audi Race Week story, sparks were flying for our improvised workshop. What were we doing? What were we trying to build? And what idiot let us anywhere near power tools? The dawn of a new day saw the birth of a new concept, the naughty car. Well, it was new to us anyway. But we know we'd be nothing without internal combustion, so we added a 25 horsepower outboard just to get us to the start line, and a simple sailing rig to get us to the finish line.
Jump in, guys. Let's take it for a spin.
Beauty. And to help it float, we added enough foam to fill a beanbag factory.
When I signed up for this, I never knew that I'd be press ganged and put to sea. I'm telling you. It's a masterful job, mate. Seriously.
It is.
I think we've done well.
Absolutely fantastic.
How's that clearance, Skip?
Not so bad. Yeah. Not so bad. Just watch for power lines with you. I think this is quite conductive.
You know, you're hanging on to that, aren't you?
Yes, at this stage.
Not since the Titanic rolled down the Harland and Wolff slipways, anything looked so promising.
And how did that end?
Not very well, Joe.
No. We named our Audi the H2O. One of those brilliant ideas you have the night before when you drink the champagne instead of saving it to launch the ship.
That's all right for a car.
Yeah, well, that's fine, boys, but we're here to go sailing. Come on, first things first, got to look the part. We threw on our safety gear as our competitors were already making their way out of the harbour. For any chance at all of winning that coveted trophy, we'd have to hurry.
Hey, look at this, guys. It's even got a light and a whistle for attracting sharks.
Hey, you ready, guys? Just call me Admiral.
Rear Admiral.
You want to be keel-hauled? Our drive round the island proved that she was still roadworthy, despite our modifications.
Now to see if she was seaworthy because of our modifications.
Here we go.
There we go.
There we go.
And all who sail in her.
Very nice bow waves.
Oh, beautiful.
Look at that.
I told you it would work.
This.
Oh, typical outboard. Don't fail me now. We're going to motor out to the course here, boys. We need the outboard for that. That's it. Bit of choke.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic.
She floats. Come to think of it, we actually made it too buoyant. The outboard propeller was half out of the water.
Wait, this is all right, isn't it?
Does it tilt in anymore? Made the tilt button on the edge.
The tilt
Yeah, it's down, it's down. It's all the way down.
Good work, Steve.
Warren, just hump in the back seat, mate.
Yeah, we need more weight in the back.
Can you tilt it down anymore?
No, it's all the way down, mate.
I knew I'd come in handy as ballast at some stage.
Oh, here's another good thing. These are really good. One of those each.
Oh, that's a handy thing.
I've got us 2 of these.
Warren's ballast just wasn't enough. The weight of the Audi's engine up front was making the H2O list. We were in danger of sinking. Now, getting out was going to be a stretch at best, but this was disaster pending.
I just get this really, really bad feeling we're listing that way.
Now, plainly, our vessel was lacking in the steering department, but it wasn't design, it was Steve. If he'd been driving the Titanic, he'd have missed the iceberg. No wonder the harbour master banished us to the back of the marina. He was worried we were going to sink in the channel.
Can you pull that jib sheet in a bit? This is...
What's the jib sheet?
That's it. What do you mean, what's the jib sheet? You're supposed to know how to...
I'm steering here.
We're doing a D-Day style landing here, mate. We're going to hit the beach at full bore.
It was all hands on deck. Those people on the shore probably thought we had rocks in our heads trying out this cunning stunt. But what we really needed were rocks in the car.
No, they're just going to put some rocks in there.
These builds.
All right, our feet. Yep, I got you.
Let's put on, yeah.
Another one.
Onward, ho!
Oh, now we're motoring.
Now we're motoring.
Pretty good.
We were finally back on course, but the 5-minute horn had already blasted. We made a dash for the start as the other real yachts jockeyed for their positions. Our lack of seamanship, though, brought home another problem. We were now on a collision course with a massive barge, which was steaming towards the harbour entrance just as we were heading out. We turned about and hightailed it out of Samson's Way. Now, those guys might have thought it was funny, but it was actually the final straw in our futile quest. The flotilla had fled, so we were left simply sailing round in circles, which we called sea trials.
Any minute now, boys, you're going to feel the salt spray in your hair. You're going to feel the white heat of foaming, flanking competition. Are you gagging for it? Do you want it? Are we going to win?
I think all I can see is a slow death.
Good.
I don't like leaving the kiddies pool, I've got to say.
Right full runner.
Oh, bloody hell, that's the sea. I don't want to go
It's
out
the
there.
sea.
I'm not into this.
Wash coming. Wash coming.
Hey. Charlie, racetracks are not this lumpy. What? What? Oh, you...
Prepare to jibe.
Is that right?
Normally I say that beforehand. That's a jibe. No, when you drive.
Who's in charge of the boom? You. There's no way in the wide world of sports that I would ever get back in this thing. Avanti!
Our Wheels Meets Waves quest was obviously work in progress, so it was back to the drawing board, which was, of course, back on shore.
Wait a second. Up. Cool that.
And if you think sailing the thing and getting back in one piece was a miracle, watch this. It started.
Yes!
Yes! Out we go. Come on. Our mission is complete.
Well,
Yeah! That's not bad. How good is this?
Guys, now we've got this amphibious thing absolutely sorted. What are you doing on Boxing Day?
Going to the cricket.
don't even think about it, Charlie. This thing would never make it across Bass Strait.
What makes you think we'd get to Bass Strait?
Between then and now, some sailing lessons for you two. Maybe some modifications, maybe a wing keel for the H2O. And here's a sneak peek for you.
Next week, we lift the lid on the SL63 and our road trip from the Red Heart to the far north.
Army outies! See you next week.
Top Gear fans will find a range of merchandise from the UK series, including DVDs, CDs and books at Dymocks and JB Hi-Fi.